We have 65, so this would be 66.
Yeah.
Correct.
It should be 67.
Right.
Because we couldn't do one Sunday for some reason. We couldn't do a recap. I don't know. Maybe because Michigan loses and Notre Dame gets upset.
That had nothing to do with it. I was in Herkimer. we could have done one Monday night. Pete and I are just going to vent. We're just venting 4 days later than we could have.
Hey, I was preaching Michigan getting pummeled for weeks before that. There was no surprise. I didn't even watch the game.
Well,
Florida State Festival. I refused.
Florida State gets beat. You guys are like, hey, let's record at 7 a.m. on Sunday, all bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. You guys lose. Oh, my cat's got the measles. I don't know if I could, go on today.
Well, I just want to say that at least we lost to a legitimate top 5 team. I don't know who you're losing to.
Well,
we know Northern Illinois is ranked 25th, so
Yeah,
right out there.
this is hurting
my ranked team also.
Right.
And I did mention that Marcus Freeman does do crap like this.
Yes, he does.
Yeah,
Welcome, everybody, to Targeting Winners, episode 66. Did we establish that?
Sure.
We did.
Garrett and Peter, we are Targeting Winners, and we're here to go into week 3 and a brief recap of week 2 as we could not get to it for Sunday. How you guys doing?
We have many things to say about week 2. This will not be brief.
Well, there was a lot of crying, but
I don't have taps queued up, so I'll give you guys the floor.
You should have taps queued up. We deserve it. I'm just going to say this, and granted, Notre Dame kissed that future pretty much. That's about 95% shot to hell. They're getting all the crap, and rightfully so, because they actually lost. But how many other teams in the top 15 struggled with their opponents this week? Penn State at home against Bowling Green, Oklahoma against Houston, Oregon against Boise, Alabama within a 1-point game in the fourth quarter at home against South Florida. If you know what's going on this year with any of these teams, you are more than welcome to come on the show, because I have no freaking clue what to expect week to week anymore.
Come on, how good does Tulane look at times? I mean, there's some teams this year that are they look good, surprisingly so, and teams that you would expect that would be better are not. And so we can talk about some of that today. But yeah, I mean, Notre Dame, that was very unfortunate, because I called my title today "Futures Pain," because that was one of my future bets. But I had 2 of them, because I had Iowa as well, with looking at winning the Big Ten, and I guess not a big surprise in rivalry games, but still, that's a heartbreaker for them, for sure.
I mean, Iowa State's not a conference game for you, so I mean that doesn't really affect your Big Ten pain. But yeah, I'm with you on the pain thing. I also had Notre Dame to win the national championship. The only good thing I can say about my week, because I was absolute trash in week 2. The only good thing that happened was I do feel good about Northern Illinois now winning the MAC, which I got at plus 750. I feel good about Florida International. The only thing I got right was my plus 185 money line play on the Panthers, and they put up a 50 burger on East Carolina. So they only need 4 more wins to cash that back. So, Pete, I'm glad that I dragged you in to that bet with me. At least we have that.
Did you guys see George Kittle the other day?
Iowa
wearing
State
Brock Purdy's helmet? Yeah. He had like the little quarterback wristband. Every answer, he'd be like, Iowa State sucked this week. So that was the whole, or Iowa sucked this week. So
when I was looking at these bets, I'm just like, I just tried to get a mix of teams that I think are legit, like not good, and fade them, and a mix of teams that, all right, you've had 2 weeks of performances that were not expected of you. It's time. And if I lose with these teams, lesson learned. But we'll see.
Agreed.
Crazy week 2. Now we just got 2 box scores to look at. And I still don't know what the hell's going on with a lot of these teams. So let's just get at it, man. Tomorrow's another day.
Week 3, here we go. We've got Rice and Houston.
Oh, yeah. Start out with the biggest loser from last week. Thank you. All right. So this is my I figured, since I'm sucking at just everything else, the only thing I'm really crushing this year is my money line plays. Notre Dame over A&M, USC over LSU, and the aforementioned Florida International Panthers, who are probably still one of the worst 15 teams of football, but whatever. Rice is my play for this week on the money line. Was it BetMGM, I believe, came out with an any sport boost. So I could use it on college football. So I did you a half unit play here on Rice and got plus 212. I think that Houston game against Oklahoma, I think everybody is maybe pumping up Houston a little too much, although they did play pretty well last week. But I think that was more Jackson Arnold not playing as well as he's capable of. Not impressed with Donovan Smith so far. Their leading running back in 2 games only has 36 yards rushing. Their leading receiver through 2 games only has 89 yards receiving. Rice, meanwhile, their defense has been improving from year to year. They've got 11 sacks so far and 2 picks through 2 games, but their offense is still looking pretty good despite losing Christian McCaffrey's little brother, Luke. They do have Kurt Warner's kid, the Temple transfer, EJ Warner. It's 4.5. If you want to take the points, that's actually a good number to get. It was at 4 when I made this bet, so I was like, screw it, I'll just take the money line. But I like the way Rice is playing, so I got a half unit play on Rice, and with the boost, I got plus 212 there.
What you think, Pete?
Yeah, I don't really have much to offer on this one.
All right. Yeah, I did not look at this game at all. So we'll just keep moving. We're going to go. I think this is one of yours, Pete. The Green Wave.
It is, yes. I mentioned a little bit earlier that Tulane looked pretty good. They almost had the upset last week. They played really well, so they can score. I like what I see from their offense. Me playing over-unders here. Oklahoma has been subpar in terms of their scoring, but I'm going with a theory here, right? My theory is that Tulane's going to come in and score. They're going to score some points, and I think it's going to prompt Oklahoma to score some points and kind of get off this little bit of a, I don't know what they got going here. Right? It's just not clicking right now. I mean, they very well could have lost last week. So I think hopefully that would shock them into being what they generally are, which is a team that can score. So I'm betting on that this week, right? The over-under is 46.5. I think Tulane will score because they have been, and I think Oklahoma will respond. And so from that perspective, I think that 46.5 is a rather low number. So I am going with 1 unit play on the over.
Yeah, I like that, actually. I think Tulane showed a lot. I see Oklahoma's Oklahoma. I don't know. I can see this one being a high-scoring game. I don't have a problem with that at all. I don't know if we have any thoughts on that one, Darren.
I kind of like what Pete said about Tulane. I think he even mentioned in our AAC preview that wouldn't be surprised if they're playing for the AAC title. That was a tough loss. If you had Tulane on the money line last week against Kansas State, that scoop and score at 27 all as Tulane was driving. But yeah, I like what Tulane's done. And like Pete said, I think this could easily be a shootout.
Sweet. All right, well, let's keep moving right along. I'm going to Pete's boys here. Michigan.
Jesus.
Now, obviously, they're not playing a team like Texas this week. This is a get-well game, I believe. They're favored by 23.5 is what I got them on. This is one of those rough week last week. They got a team coming in. This is a get-well game. They got them at home. I'm hoping my office buddy's kid gets some playing time in here at the end, being a true freshman at all. 23.5 doesn't seem like too tall of an order for Michigan to cover against Arkansas State. And a lot of these games, other than like the very, very close ones, if they're not very, very close, they're huge blowouts with these group of 5 Power 4 teams. They're either really, really close or really there's never like a 10-point win. It doesn't seem like it anyway. They're always like, the group of 5 teams getting blown out 45-3, or group of 5 team winning once in a while, very rarely, or they get these games where it's like a 1-touchdown game. So I'm seeing this on the blowout side. I like Michigan minus 23.5. Peter, the floor is yours.
I'm not sure they could score 23.5 points.
I was going to say the
same thing. They still have number 7, man. So
yeah, I didn't dive deeply into the Arkansas State defense at the moment, but if they have one that is at all breathing, I don't think they're going to score 23 points. I get it. I mean, this should be a get-well game. They should perform well. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, yeah, normally I would agree with you in this situation right now, kind of like you were with FSU last week, and I should have listened, right? Or sorry, to whatever the hell was recently. Yeah, you should probably listen. I don't feel this. I just can't. I see them winning. I see them winning maybe 10. That would not surprise me.
Nice.
Yeah, this is one of the games where I'm thinking, like, I was talking about, okay, it's week 3. Somebody's got to show me something. Michigan's got to show me something here.
Yeah.
I also kind of leaned Arkansas State. I was hoping it would get to 24, but I didn't. I have 23.5 also, like what Tim has. But yeah, like you said, he's right. I mean, it's either going to be like 41-7 or 24-20. It's just like, yeah, I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know what to make of Michigan. I avoid this game like the plague, but yeah, this is a show me week for Michigan.
Last week's game was not the season for Michigan because it was Texas. They were going to win all along as a better team, period. Right? This is the season. If they don't come out and show something that they have offensive capability and all that, then the season's over, right? I mean, so this, in that respect, Tim, I want to lean into your pick because they have to do that. If they don't do that, well, we'll be playing Taps next week, and you can cue it up, Darren, because I will be happy to sing along.
We should just start every show with Taps the way things have gone. I mean,
maybe Michigan and Florida State will be in a bowl game together.
Oh, God. We're not going to watch that.
We could just change the show name to Targeting Corpses because, I mean, I don't even know. Not even following what's going on anymore. Not going to lie.
Right. Let's move this along. Let's go over Notre Dame and Purdue.
Yeah, let's do this.
Are you betting this one as well, Darren? Are you in on this one?
I wasn't 10 minutes ago, but this is part of the rapid fire segment at the end. I have a thought.
You want to go first? Because this is my play, but you want to go first? Go first.
I'm just going to say this.
Your team.
I'm just going to say this. Typical Marcus Freeman. How this dude still has a job, I have no idea. That being said, this line has plummeted. It is now currently 8. Riley Leonard's got a shoulder issue. It's very tough to play quarterback when your throwing shoulder doesn't work. If he's announced out, there's going to be an overreaction. This line's going to go to 7, maybe less. If it goes to 7 or less, I am hopping on Steve Angeli and the backup quarterback for the Fighting Rocket Ishmaels, and I will be betting Notre Dame if it gets to 7. Because at least Steve Angeli can throw the ball. I don't have a bet yet, but I'm just letting everybody know because it's not on the list at the end of the show here. But if that gets to 7, I'm betting Notre Dame.
Yeah. I mean, it's similar to Michigan. And what I just said about them, it's similar for Notre Dame right now. Right, they have got to rebound. Right, having a loss early in the season is not the end of anything. You can have an early loss and recover later in the year, but them not coming out and showing what they have this week on the road, kind of what I would on the road, but not a long road. Right, so to me, it's a good place to show off a little bit and do what they should be able to do. So I am betting on the fact that they're going to do that. I'm betting that they are going to be pissed off. And they're going to rebound, and they're going to put up some points, shoulder or no shoulder, first, second, third string.
He shouldn't even be playing.
Grandma in the stand. I don't care who's throwing the damn ball. At the end of the day, I'm very confident. The number is 46.5 right now on the over under. I'm putting one unit on the over here because I think there will be scoring. I think Notre Dame will score regardless. And once again, Purdue at home, they can be a little feisty. They can put up a few points themselves. So I think to me that suppression of the number at 46.5 is to me relatively low. I think that to me that's a clear over. So that's where I'm going here.
I'm just going to rant a little bit, Tim, before you get your pick in. And first of all, they don't call them the Purdue spoiler makers for nothing. So Notre Dame better be on upset alert. But let me tell you what the big issue I have with our head coach here. He comes out and says, well, I think players bought into the hype. Isn't that your friggin' job to reel everybody in and be like, hey, guys, don't believe the hype. That's your job. Jesus. I'm done. Thank you.
Quoting Flavor Flav there. Don't believe the hype. Yep.
Don't believe the hype. That's your damn job, to keep your kids level-headed. So did you believe the hype too, Marcus? Because that's shame on you. But if it gets to 7, I'm still
yeah, bro. Sure. To me, that's obvious. But yeah,
massive overreaction. I might even wait for 6.5. But obviously, Leonard should not play.
Yes. Tip of the week: play overreactions. Overreactions are a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
When people overreact, play them because there is opportunity.
The thing is, this has gone from 12 to 8. And like I said, it's only Friday afternoon as we're sitting here. If you wake up tomorrow morning and Leonard is out or even goes to questionable, whatever it is, he should not play. Angeli can throw the ball. I think he'll actually improve the offense right about now. So I'll wait for the overreaction. Hopefully he's ruled out. It goes to 7 or 6.5, and I'm on board.
All right. You feel better now? Got it all?
No, not
got it all
really,
out?
because my futures
really.
bet at 2,800 is cracked out before September's even halfway over in all likelihood. So,
Well, they are still Notre Dame, so if that ends up being their only loss of the year, they'll still be in
They'll
the
be
playoff.
fine, right? If
The
that is,
problem
They'll
is-
put them in.
The problem is you still need to have Texas A&M be a legit team because now I don't believe Texas A&M is ranked. So now how good does that win look from like a week ago? You know,
It's
Northern
a- it's
Illinois is
a-
ranked, but you're telling me Northern Illinois is going to represent the group of 5.
but-
I have
and there
plus
was
750 to win the
well-
conference. I hope they do, but
even lacking the ranking, though, it's still Texas A&M, right? When you look at that win, you see in their
Right.
place, you still look at it as a quality win. I don't care where they're ranked.
right.
It's a tough
But
place
even
to
with the
play.
ranking, it's Northern Illinois.
I know.
Tim
I
just
know.
talked about how group of 5
Yeah.
teams go on these road trips, make 1.4 million, and get the crap kicked out of them.
Yeah.
The disturbing thing is they got shoved around. Okay, Notre Dame is the one that's supposed to do the shoving.
Yeah.
They
They weren't ready. They were not ready.
Exactly.
They bought them.
Tim, put
weren't
another
ready.
game up. Put
You
another
guys
game
are
up, Tim.
strengthening. You're strengthening my argument that they should get rid of the rankings altogether. I've been saying that for about 20
I
years.
agree 100%. Yes.
They're totally useless. So, all right. For Darren's sake, let's move on.
Thank you.
Woo!
Toledo
Toledo
had a bye
versus
week.
me.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say, Toledo's playing nobody. Oh, there's the team.
This is one of my picks. We got Toledo, Mississippi State. I'm going under here. 59.5 is what I got. I think, Toledo, I think they have the advantage with the turnovers. They're at 4. I think Mississippi State is even in the turnover ratio. I think, Mississippi State obviously being a stronger team just with the old mighty power of the SEC. I think they can hold them to a lower score. I'm seeing this score being something like, 28-14 or something like that. So I like the under 59.5 points, even though it is the mighty Toledo's. Yeah, I like the under 59.5. Trying to avoid saying the E word. So yeah. Some of you guys, one of you do say something before I say the E word, and
I didn't research this game at all. I've got nothing.
Nope.
Well, I like the time of possession, and I think obviously I don't think Toledo's played a team. Maybe I'm wrong, but I think they played Duquesne. Did I see that right? I'd be lying if I told you I saw any of Duquesne this year. I like Mississippi State. I think they'll actually cover. I believe they're favored by, I forgot to look at that line, but yeah, 59.5 should be a short order to fill. All right. Since you guys got nothing.
I didn't look at this game.
I didn't know my picks were so boring, but okay, that's
No,
fine.
not boring at all.
Generally not. I love betting Toledo. Toledo's a lot of fun as we get into the season, into the conferences. Toledo's fun. I didn't look at them this week.
Yeah, I mean the bankroll.
Daquan Finn left. I don't know what to even make of Toledo.
Yeah.
Along with 133 other teams in this.
I guess boring is good as long as it wins. So
That's all that matters.
yeah, the bankroll doesn't care where the money comes from. So
Exactly.
moving on, we're going to App State ECU.
All right. We talk about overreactions. I think people are overreacting about how terrible App State played last week. We had discussed in the rapid fire segment how Clemson was in all likelihood going to cover 16.5. It was 56 to whatever at halftime. I think App State's just being this is a good buy low spot for them. I guess is what I'm trying to say. You look at East Carolina, and I actually watched East Carolina because I had actually bet Old Dominion last week. East Carolina right now through 2 games, a turnover machine. They have turned the ball over 10 times in 2 games, and they've played Old Dominion and Norfolk State. 7 of those turnovers are interceptions. And I get it. The Ole Miss co-offensive coordinator for the last few years is now the offensive coordinator for ECU. They were pretty offensively challenged the last couple of years. But this guy, not Joey Aguilar, he's the other guy, Jake Garcia, at this point in the season, struggling to pick up what's going on here with his 7 picks. Going back to Joey Aguilar, he was the Sun Belt Conference preseason player of the year. I think it's time for him to look like one. Yeah, and despite how bad they got smoked, I mean, you can look and say, oh, he went 18 for 41. Yeah, well, when you give up 56 points in the first half, you're probably abandoning the run. Clemson, pretty good defense. I'm pretty sure they were expecting the pass. But he's only been sacked 1 time in 2 games. He still hasn't thrown a pick, despite the disastrous effort at Clemson. This spread actually went from 2.5 where I got it. I think now it's like 1.5 or 2 at some places. I don't get that. App State was a preseason favorite to win their conference. East Carolina was not. I think this is a good buy low spot on App State. They smacked ECU around last year as well. So I'm buying low on App State here. I'm laying the 2.5 1-unit play over ECU.
That'll be a fun game to watch.
Yeah,
and one more thing, they did rush for 5.5 yards per carry against Clemson. So, I mean, it's not like even against a really good defense, they had trouble running the ball. So,
no, I think that's awesome. That's a great bet. I mean,
I hope so, man. I could use some wins here. Not gonna lie.
Yeah,
not gonna lie.
All right. How about
can we rant about Notre Dame again, or are we moving on?
If you want to go back, by all means, I will.
Why'd you give me another game? Oh my god. Okay, so before I take it
randomly, man.
Okay, that's fair.
People are taking a bathroom break. It's okay. You're good.
I'm just gonna say this: Iowa, tough loss last week. Second, 54-yard field goal against Iowa State.
Yeah.
I feel bad going against Troy because I know Pete was very pro Troy. Earlier in the year, I wasn't. They just haven't shown anything since they lost their entire coaching staff and a ton of starters. I mean, losing to Nevada at home as a 7.5-point favorite. This team's just not there yet. I think Iowa's going to be in a pretty sour mood after losing. They're going to look to bounce back here. I mean, they were probably going to run the ball all over Troy here. The Troy defense in 2 games hasn't even gotten a sack. I get that Cade McNamara is kind of trash. But they can run the ball. They had a dude 187 yards rushing last week. I think they had a guy do. I think it's going to be the same thing. Yeah, Caleb Johnson, 187 yards, 2 TDs, 7.5 yards per carry. Those are all attainable numbers against Troy here. I think Troy, if they get 3, might be lucky, which means Iowa's only got to get to 27. So I think they can handle that. They're averaging 39.5 points a game. Iowa minus 22 is what I got, and that's what I rolled with 1-unit play.
Nice. That's a get well game, a recovery game.
That's again. This is kind of like a show me game here. Okay, so you gave up 20 points. Your defense is supposed to be really good. This is a perfect team to get their swagger back, if you will.
Oh, it is. I mean, Troy is, from my perspective, at least underperforming. I thought they would be better. They're not. They'll probably turn the ball over 3 times and just get absolutely run over. Iowa's going to want to make a statement here, which I think they certainly can and will do. I would be surprised if Troy scored at all, or maybe 3, as Darren said. I could see that, but that's all you're getting out of that. That defense is going to be killer this week, and I mean, it is in a way a telling game for them because a rivalry game, you can't get anything out of that, right? That's just what happens, right? So, what do they do back into a normal, typical weekly game? And I think they'll be good. I think they'll win by a significant margin, actually. Yeah. I mean, they don't score a ton, but 10, 15 points, easy.
Yeah, they start conference play. They've got Minnesota on deck. I don't see a scenario where they're looking ahead to Minnesota. Yeah. I think they just focus on this. If they put up another 37-3, something like that, is what I'm thinking. But yeah, get well spot for Iowa here.
Guys, we got a problem.
Oh boy.
You guys are going to crush me.
Probably Marcus Freeman's fault.
Yes. More than likely, yes.
I blame Marcus Freeman.
Absolutely.
This next game here. All right, this is one of mine. I got Auburn, Mississippi State. The over-under was 61.5.
Can I stop you for a second? This is New Mexico, bro.
Or New Mexico, I'm sorry, yeah. I just saw a glaring mistake that I made, and now I'm flustered. So
it's okay.
Fair
Just
enough.
blame Marcus Freeman. It's all
Here
here.
it is. It is Marcus Freeman's fault, guys. I don't know what you want to do here. I was going to give out the 61.5 under, and I was just checking on a line and something else, and noticed I accidentally bet the over. So,
well.
When we recap the bets, we're going to have to make sure we.
So, I accidentally bet the over, bet the under. That's what I heard.
Well, you can change that. You can pull that back.
I hope you
Might
can.
be
I did not see an icon on Hard Rock Bets to take
I was
it
going to
back.
say if I don't know if Hard Rock offers that or not.
FanDuel, you can always pull them back. So yeah,
you might
but
lose
this
a
is
buck or
new-
two, but
a buck or two, whatever.
Yeah, I may, maybe for continuity's sake, deposit another unit into my Hard Rock Bet and just bet the under to be consistent with the show. But yeah, folks, I don't know what the hell happened. I just happened to look at it. I'm like, over. Damn it. I did
Marcus
not
Freeman
wanna bet
hacked
the
your
over.
account.
He did. Marcus Freeman or James Franklin, one or the other. But yeah, I see this game being something like, New Mexico's they're not good. So I'm seeing this like a 45-10, something like that. And last time I checked my math, I know we don't like doing that here. That's less than 61.5. So I'm giving out the under. Tragically, I accidentally bet the over. So I blame Marcus Freeman. If you guys don't have anything to add, we'll get this catastrophe off the screen as quickly as possible.
I feel like we should have T-shirts that say it's Marcus Freeman's fault. I think we need.
We'll get it on a South Alabama Gio Lopez jersey, and on the back we'll put Marcus Freeman's
Great.
fault.
Oh, by the way, if anybody bet that game, you didn't cash because they played mercy rule. The game didn't go 55 minutes.
Really?
Did you guys see that? Yeah,
I did not see that.
A lot of books have a rule that if the game doesn't go 55 minutes, you don't get paid out. So,
Well,
if you had
that's
South
nonsense.
Alabama minus 40 or whatever, you did not win because
Well, that's BS.
that's the rule, man. That happened in the Hall of
rule.
Fame game, the first preseason game for the NFL Hall of Fame game. They stopped it in like the third quarter. I think they paid the total because it already went over.
Yeah.
But any spread bets, I think a lot of books just made it no contest. You got your money back. That's know your sports book rules.
Yes, indeed.
As for betting tips 2025, we'll have to add that one in.
No, you should know that anyway. Because
Well, yeah, I mean that's a given. Let's get out of this catastrophe. Here we go.
Ooh. Oh boy, we're back to me. So,
Super
ladies
fan-
and gentlemen
Super
of
fan
the
Ray.
jury, I am 7-3 this year. 2 of my losses are with Ole Miss. So, being the pig-headed degenerate that I am, I had to look really hard at that game this week, and I have to play it again. And I'm obviously asking for doom, and I'm sure I will lose this game, but I am confident. So let's talk about number one, third time is the charm. So in week number 1, Ole Miss did exactly what I said they were going to do. They scored at will, and Furman was going to score nothing. And that's what happened, but I would figure that Ole Miss might shut it down after 50 or so, order some hot and readies, and sit on the sideline. They didn't do that. They kept scoring. That didn't go very well. So going into week number 2, I'm thinking, okay, well, they're playing Middle Tennessee, who actually has an offense, and Ole Miss is going to score, and Middle Tennessee is probably going to score. And so that 62.5 looked very enticing. And I went over. And what did we find? Middle Tennessee did nothing at all on offense, and Ole Miss decided to score only 52 points, not 152. So back to the well. Ole Miss and Wake Forest, I am actually going contrary to my overs. 64.5 is the number unit. I'm playing 1 unit on the under. I believe that there is some. I don't believe Ole Miss is going to carry on the scoring like they have the last couple of weeks. Yes, they're going to score, but I don't think they're going to obnoxiously do so. I think Wake it will be in the vicinity, but I don't think they're going to score a heck of a lot. So I think that's a pretty high number. I certainly would not be surprised if Ole Miss scored 40 or something like that, but I don't think Wake is going to make up the rest of it. So I kind of like the under here. So I'm ready to be wrong for a third week in a row on this team. And I swear, if I am, I will never bet them again for the rest of the season.
Yes, you will.
We all know you're going.
Yes,
to.
you
It's all
will.
Ray's fault. Blame Ray. Blame Marcus. Freeman.
Yeah. I may have nothing to add. You're the Ole Miss expert. Anything I add would be pointless.
Yeah, how did that happen? Like Michigan and Ole Miss, like the authority of.
God,
Or
I
like
appear to be the opposite of an expert since I can't get this right. But anyway, yes.
Same thing. I'm going to roll with that. Let's just keep moving on to our final game of the week. Liberty.
Liberty Bibberty. All right, here's a team that needs to step up and show something after two. I'm going to call them subpar weeks. Barely got by New Mexico State last week. This team's 2-0, but they're 0-2 against the spread. Again, UTEP, a perfect opponent here to right the ship. I think Liberty's got. Now, we had talked about some of these teams that could be the group of five representative. We talked about Memphis. We talked about App State, and again, Liberty was up there as well. And I think Liberty's like, okay, we know we got that App State game coming in a couple weeks. They need to show something to the committee and to me, honestly, because they have not looked like the offense that we've all grown to love the last couple of years. Nothing about UTEP screams competitive here. They just lost to Southern Utah, an FCS team last week, or 27-24. Again, Liberty's got to get it right this week. And much like Pete, if they don't, maybe I just won't bet Liberty anymore because that'll show them. But yeah, that'll teach them. But yeah, it's pretty much 23.5 everywhere. You might be able to find some 23s. I did lay Liberty minus 23.5 over UTEP. I expect them to roll here.
Nice. Well, let's close out the show. Let's go into our RPO segment.
We got a lot of games.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, for a crappy schedule, there's actually a lot of decent games this week.
UNLV at Kansas. Oof.
Oh, these first two are tonight, aren't they?
Yeah, they are.
They are, yes.
I'm leaning Kansas. I like that, the 9.5 at home with Kansas. I'd lean Kansas on that. If I was going to run, I'd go with Kansas.
I would take UNLV here.
Yeah, I like the points. 9.5. It's enticing. I'm not betting it, but it's enticing.
Yeah, I mean, what has Kansas showed on offense so far? I mean, they should have beaten Illinois last week, but you just never know when Jalen Daniels is actually going to make it through a full 60 minutes. That's a lot of points. UNLV is a pretty decent team. I'd take the points here.
All right, Arizona, Kansas State, Pete.
Yeah, I mean, you would expect Kansas State is going to step back after almost losing to Tulane, you would think. But this is one of those show-me games, right? I would expect they would. I think they should cover the 7, but I'm not sold on it at the moment based on the performance last week.
Yeah. Both these teams got something. I mean, that McMillan guy goes off for 300 yards against New Mexico and then gets 2 catches for 11 yards against Northern Arizona. Arizona's got to show me something, just like Kansas State's got to show Pete something. I would go over. I don't know what it is, but I would imagine high 50s, low 60s.
Agreed. Yeah, I would go there.
Imagine probably 57, something around there.
Oh, is it? Yeah.
I would imagine so, yeah.
If that's the case, I'll be burning out fullback and seniors out of the way and running to the window and betting the over here if it's under 60.
Nice. I'm actually leaning Arizona, but as the game as a whole is a hard pass for me. This is an interesting one. Alabama given 16 at Wisconsin. I'm leaning Alabama. Just they have a bad habit of just going to people's places and beating the crap out of them. So, especially non-conference opponents, if I was going to run on this one, I'd run with Alabama.
Yeah, when is Wisconsin a 16.5-point dog at home? I mean, what is that?
Tyler Van Dyke became the quarterback.
Yeah.
What happened to this program? I mean, perennially they are hard to beat at home. The 16.5-point dog at home is a damning line. And to me, how do I counter that line? I would lay the points and take Bama. I think they're going to pound them.
Yeah, again, they were in the struggle in the fourth quarter with South Florida. Overreaction. Everybody's like, "Oh my God, what's wrong with Alabama?"
Yeah,
there's nothing wrong with Alabama. They'll get it right this week.
I really wish Tyler Van Dyke was still in Miami. That would be a safety blanket right there.
I hear the U is back, baby.
That's what I always say. LSU giving 6.5 to South Carolina. What are you guys going?
The other direction, not touching
it. Exactly.
Man, I don't know.
The betting goes over here. I'm going over there.
Yes.
I'll pass on this one too, especially, nope. No thanks.
This should be a fun game to watch, but I don't know where to go with betting it. But it should be interesting.
I like watching Brian Kelly get angry. I don't know
Yeah.
why.
He will be.
He's got that look on his face, like that toddler you took away his Legos or something. He has that look. It's like, I don't know.
I just say no, money's been coming in on South Carolina. That line was 7.5 not too long ago, so
Absolutely.
it's dropping.
All right, I knew you were going to put this game on here.
Oh, jeez.
Florida State.
Just for sheer entertainment value, because we knew Pete and I were going to rant, so we figured you should get a little say as well.
Boy, this is a total dumpster fire. It's one of those. If it's over now, if they lose this game, I would lean Florida State. Give the 6.5, and this is. They always say this is the week they put it all together. So maybe this would be one of those. But yeah, I'll roll with the Noles, and it just has to happen. It has to, just because it has to. No other research. A get well game. They've got to do something. Show me something. This is it right here. I don't want to. We'll go over 2 hours if you let me keep going. So somebody else say something.
I mean, feel free. The videos take forever to upload anyway. So yeah.
We have plenty of time. Apparently, we're good. I mean, but,
I'm done. But yeah, they got to win this week. So I'm going. I run to the Noles. Give the 6.5.
They learn how to tackle this week. I mean,
probably not. I can't.
They were having water gun fights at practice, so that should show you how prepared they are.
Yeah,
it's supposed to rain.
They'll win.
Getting ready for the rain. Hakeem Williams is back, I think I heard. So maybe somebody actually catch the ball as well if he can put it on target. Anyway, okay. Oregon State.
Can Pete and I comment, or do you just want to keep going?
For our viewers, for our listeners' purpose here for a second, right? If Negative Nancy, FSU guy over here, thinks they're going to win, then they're going to win, and they're going to cover this. I mean, I wouldn't touch this team again this year with somebody else's money. I don't know what the heck they're doing. They're not good. But if Tim's on board with his team winning, and he's usually very negative about them, then that should tell you something. They're going to win this game.
I mean, I would always bet with somebody else's money. I mean, why not? Just to be fair there.
Yeah.
Anyway,
this game does not interest me at all.
No. Take the money line. They'll win.
I would rather watch a 20-minute loop of a monkey taking a crap, honestly, than watch.
I do enjoy those on Saturday nights.
Well, if they
not even just like a normal crap. Like the monkey's literally having trouble crapping, and he's like punching himself in the head because he's so aggravated. That's just what I would rather watch. I'm just saying.
If the monkeys threw the crap, they'd be more accurate than DJ this year. So
nope, just an aggravated monkey having trouble taking a crap. 20-minute loop. Put that on. I'd rather watch that than Memphis, Florida State. I digress. Sorry for the visual.
Oregon State. Let's get out of here. Oregon is an interesting team. I think they let you down last week, Darren, against Boise.
Along with many other teams.
Yeah. This is a difficult team. I'm passing just because I still don't know Oregon's identity yet this year. Exactly. I don't know what they're going to be. So I would pass on this game altogether.
Rivalry games are impossible. It's so hard with these games. I wouldn't touch it. Just like I didn't touch Iowa State last week. You can't.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, Notre Dame and Purdue. I think we already covered that game.
If it gets to 7, I'm running to the window. And I'm buying everybody a Steve Angeli jersey, which leads them to a 24-point victory. Just putting that out there.
Hold on 1 second. All right. Now I'm back. Texas A&M at Florida. Guys, what are you thinking?
Do we even know who's playing quarterback for Florida?
No, I don't think so.
Is it Mertz or is it Langley?
I didn't look.
That kind of would affect my opinion.
Word here is that it's Langley or Langway, whatever his name is. Number 9, I think his number is. If it's Graham Mertz, I'm running for Texas A&M. If it's Langway, I am running to Florida.
If it's Graham Mertz, I'd be on the under because I know Connor Wegman's struggling for A&M, but yeah, I would avoid this game as well.
Should be a fun game again. Good to watch, but I'm not sure it's a good betting game here.
I'm leaning Florida just because of the quarterback. It's also at home. Again, Texas A&M is kind of like Oregon. We don't really know how good they are, even though they beat Notre Dame. or Notre Dame beat them.
They
and
did
looked
not
good
beat
last
Notre
week.
Dame.
No, I caught it. Relax.
Whatever,
But they
Mr.
recovered
Overlook.
last week. Look, I'm still backing up from that damn overbet I placed by accident. That's still kicking my ass.
Do you not
But
have your glass on? We told you, put your glasses
didn't.
on when you do
I did
this.
not have my glasses on, that's for sure. But I don't know.
Okay.
Anyway, I'm leading Florida at home. And the Langway kid seems to be the real deal. So I can see a positive weekend for the lovely, lovely Florida Gators in the sewer or the swamp. So Washington State, Washington. Where are you guys looking at this one? This is this game's
Apple
gonna
Cup.
suck. I think this
No,
game's
I don't
gonna
think
suck.
it's going to suck. No, I think it's going to be good. Neutral site, even though it's a lot closer to Washington as to Washington State. I would lean Washington here.
Yeah, rivalry game. Once again, won't touch it, but it'd be fun. It's going to be fun to watch, I think.
Yeah, hard pass for me. Georgia at Kentucky. Georgia given 22.
Another defensive back got arrested. How didn't Kentucky get steamrolled by South Carolina last week?
Yeah, this is not. Yeah.
Is Kentucky even going to score? I mean,
I'm not
until I would have to go Georgia here if I had to make a play. I mean, why would
I
you bet
guess.
against Georgia at all?
I mean, Georgia is certainly not beatable at the moment, I don't think. And I mean, laying 22, that's a lot of points, but would not be surprised if they covered it by halftime. So I don't know. I mean,
as always, it's not a question of who's going to win the game. I mean, I think.
Right.
I mean, Georgia's probably going to be a 20-point favorite in every game they play this year, unless they play. I don't know. I haven't looked at their schedule. I don't know if they have.
They got a tough 3-game stretch coming up, like the second half
They
of the
do,
season.
yeah.
So they get Texas this year?
I think Bama, Texas, and somebody else.
Yeah,
Ole Miss is in there too.
Oh, we look forward to Pete betting on that game.
No, because he'll have bet on him 6 more times before that game. What are you talking about?
And Coach Prime taking the Buffaloes over to Colorado State.
You know, I got sucked into this bet last week like an idiot. By the way, that's my tip number 2 of the week: is don't get sucked in a bet you didn't really research. Because I should be 7-2, and I got sucked into this garbage with Colorado. That team is garbage. That offense is terrible. No, I'll take Colorado State here. I would take the 7, and I would take Colorado State.
Yeah, I said earlier. I said, if the offensive line even gets a little bit better, they didn't get a little bit better. They're still pretty bad. I don't know.
But I see you got plus 4,000 scrolling across the screen on
the
conference.
Well, the Nebraska game was a non-conference game, so that helps. So
I might be able to cash that one out for you if you want your money back.
Yes, delete.
Well, at the same time, if it does happen, you'll have a winning season because that's going to pay really well for you. But I got to lean Colorado State here. Colorado.
They should have won last year. They should have won that game last year. I forget. They kind of fell apart at the end. I forget what exactly happened. There was a bad targeting penalty and I think a really bad pass interference penalty at the end of that game. But they really should have won last year, and then somehow the wheels fell off there in the fourth quarter. Final review. Let's see where we're standing so far for this year. How are we looking, Darren?
Like crap, Tim. Like Marcus Freeman's been making all my picks for me. Well, it has some pretty colors, though. I mean, I will go with that. Okay, obviously your first one there is what you're giving out.
I'm
you bet the opposite.
Yeah. So quick review. So I gave out the under. I accidentally bet the over. Let's not relive that. Let's keep going. 2-1 last week. So got to stack up those winning weeks when I can. And then we got the Marcus Freeman effect with Darren. So
I will take college football week 2 selections for 600, Tim. The answer is, what were Darren's week 2 picks? What is pain? Is that correct?
Yes, it is. What is
the only good thing? My futures bets outside of Notre Dame look really, really good. Florida International saving my week. And when I can say that, we have a problem.
Yeah, and if a couple losses happen, I think, don't you have Virginia Tech too, or is that Pete's?
Nope, I've got Virginia Tech. I've got Ohio State winning the national championship. I got Northern Illinois winning the MAC. FIU over 4.5 and UCLA under 5.5.
Right.
So hopefully Indiana takes care of them this week as well, because then at least if I get that right, I can make up all these units in January.
Right. Hey, that's the way to do it. That's a positive way to look at things. As always, everyone, you can find us on X at Target Wins. You can find us on Facebook, Targeting Winners Facebook page, and YouTube. You can see all our hijinks on YouTube. Targeting Winners is the name of the YouTube page. You can also email the show at cfbdudes@yahoo.com. Have a good week, everybody. Have a good bets.